Beautiful people, more life, more blessings. You know the vibes, we outside, and I am blessed to be here. Do it for the love, episode 19. You know me, Eric Buddy Davis, one half. You know my co-host is in the building.
Cell Spitfire.
And as usual, you know we're feeling good, feeling great, feeling good, and we hope you are too. So, you've been watching, you know the vibes, and you know how we start off our show. So my brother, I'm checking that temperature, Brody. How you feeling tonight?
Feeling good, man. Good energy. You know, I know this episode is going to air a little bit later than when we shot it, but much prayers to all of the victims of today's crazy events in Baltimore at the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Yes, sir.
That is what, today, should we say?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's right now. Today, I mean, we want to mark the day. I mean, I know we never do this on our show, but we can mark today. Today's what, March 26th?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You keep talking about it.
Yeah, so just that situation, I ain't gonna lie, I woke up today hearing about that. I was in a dead sleep, and my lady's ready to leave the crib for work, and her sister calls, and it was just panic. You could hear it through the voice coming through the phone. And I woke up, turned on the news, and it was a wild day, man. A day to really make you more thankful for life.
Right.
You pay more attention to the small details about things around us and the people who do them certain jobs. Like for the people that was working on the bridge, you know, that's a job that goes unnoticed a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think today is the day where we can truly appreciate those people.
Right.
And hopefully it's, you know, a lot more unity in Baltimore and just around the world, the country, because as we can see, this is an international
world
news. And yeah, I'm just hoping for good peace out of it and seeing the stronghold of Maryland. So yeah,
absolutely.
My temperature's a little mixed. What
I
about
got
you, though, bro?
That's real, man. When you know, we haven't had too many like 9/11s and stuff like that. So when stuff like this happens, especially in our backyard, I can understand that. And you know, a lot of people were affected today. So like you say, I just want to shout out the first responders and everybody that was involved with helping everybody today in that area. And like you said, this is world news. So it seems like it's going to be a united front moving forward. But as I said, I feel good and I'm excited to be here today, man.
Sure.
We almost at episode 20. We almost had the dub with it. So it's like, I feel great where we at, man, and where we growing, the things that we got coming, the discussions that we're a part of. And yeah, man, it feels great to be here, episode 19. I feel like it's a perfect day to actually be an optimist and spend the energy that our state feels today. And I think the topic of our show today is the perfect way to go into that.
For sure.
So today, episode 19 is for the love of motivation. I went back and forth about what I wanted to call this show, so I'll say the other topic that I had as I go into the explanation. But you know how we start off. I like to give you the book definition, then we go into how we feel.
Let's get it.
So, motivation. The reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Another definition. The general desire or willingness of someone to do something. And then I wrote this for myself, how I feel about it. Motivation for me is more of a feeling, a mentality, a person, a life, everything pretty much above and beyond. You can be motivated by many things. All depends on your purpose and your reasoning. So for me, when I look at motivation, like the first thing when I was writing the episode came to my mind was T.I. You know, what was that? Album number 2, Motivation. You better get on your job, sucker. You better get on your job, shawty. Yeah. Motivation. And with that song makes me feel like it's getting up and getting to it. Yeah. You know, that was in the days where we still wasn't in high school, so that's like the sports. Yeah. Like, yeah, you know, where we at today, you know, I'm motivated by the music. And like I said, you can be motivated by many different things. Some people are motivated by art. Some people are motivated by experience, action, mentors. Some people are just self-motivated, and it really doesn't take anything but what's inside them. So before I get deeper into it, so let's talk for the love of motivation.
For sure. For me, for the love of motivation, I look at it in threes. You know, the three biggest things that motivate me is one, music.
Okay.
The second thing is seeing people that do similar traits to me as far as art and any type of form of expression, like seeing somebody that's good or that I aspire to be, or somebody that has something that's thought-provoking for me, it motivates me to be better and go into it. And the third thing was music, man. Like, I love listening to music that you mentioned. T.I., the first thought for me was Jeezy. Thug motivation. Like, that was a huge motivator for me every morning getting out the bed. And also, I got to give Rick Ross Port of Miami album. Music for me is a huge...
bunch of motivating ass thugs.
Yeah, man. Niggas I wish I was in my other life, you know what I mean? But nah, really just helping me to get out the bed in the morning and helping me stay motivated for work. I'm the type of person where I have to listen to music when I'm working on a deep project, something that's going to take me a long time, whether it's murals or something in the graphic field. So, but ultimately for me, motivation is just somebody or something that's increasing the want for you to do better or for you to accomplish a goal. It's something that's needed. I feel like without any motivation, we all would be boring people or not aspiring to be better than who we was yesterday. So motivation is key in the success of this world.
Gotcha. I'll piggyback off how you did it and say a few things that motivate me. I want to say my peers, like yourself, several of my friends in many different industries that are successful. My parents who took unorthodox ways to, take a family from projects to having to be a homeowner without either one of them being college graduates. And even, like you said, art, music, anything on that form. But I also wanted to say and put attention on that it could be negative motivation too. And it is things that motivate people to go the other way. Like, we can't act like the people of the Hitlers of the world or the Osama bin Ladens of the world or these other leaders don't have people that they motivate. So I always want to say, try to lead with the right intention and motivate with the right intention. And what I was going to call the show before we went for the love of motivation was going to be for the love of advocacy. Because I feel like when people are motivated by something, they become advocates for it. And I feel like the guest we have on tonight, from just watching his Instagram and meeting him at the gun violence awareness event that we did in the teen summit that I hosted, I saw his level of motivation and how he just exudes. I hope I said that word right. I've been trying to work on using other words and stuff. But he just gives that off when he speaks, when he does his everyday daily motivations and posts on Instagram, being a content creator. So I just want to say, man, make sure you keep what you want to do and the message that you're trying to deliver to the people at the forefront of your movement and how you're moving, because you can motivate a person to follow your footsteps or become bigger than what they ever see that self even being. So
and I just noticed when you said advocacy, I said the same thing twice when I said 3 things that motivate me.
I was going to correct it, but I was like, did he say music? And I didn't want to be wrong.
I had that same brain fart, but the 3rd thing was motivational speakers.
Okay.
I thought about Fred Hampton and people like Louis Farrakhan, because
Facts.
Louis Farrakhan almost had me joining the nation. Like, that's how powerful his word is. And regardless of me joining or not, I still will watch a Farrakhan video and get inspiration and motivation to be better in my community. So that's the 3rd thing. People hearing her speak. Shanika Henson, I love going to a rally or seeing her show up and letting her voice be heard. Those people motivate me to do
Tony Pratt.
Yeah.
A lot of people that just get on that stage and they speaking for it. They either have a voice. They speaking for somebody. You can tell when they get on that platform.
So I just had to make sure I fit that in, because some people are just as motivating to me as music is.
And it's still Women's History Month. So being that we already set the date, I just want to make sure that before we finish shooting episodes for this month, that we continue to put love and highlight on our women. You are everything. You are the creators. You are the earth. Yeah. And we will always love you. And shout out to all the women motivators, because the women in my life are some of the biggest motivators.
Facts.
So, moving forward, we're going to move into a sponsor highlight for this episode. Now, we got to continue to promote it. We're moving into season 2 soon. We want our highlight sponsors. So please, we'll send out information soon on how you can fill out to be a part of that. It's a business at the end of the day, so we want to help each other. So let's work, and we want anybody that wants to push their brand. You might not be ready for an interview, but you got a brand that you're ready to push. So for those people, this spot is for you. But we'll continue to do what we've been doing, and we're going to highlight things that we love. So tonight, I am going to highlight True Food Kitchen. This is a healthy eat in Annapolis, and I'll read you their intent. They are a company with their belief of power, wholeness, and real food. They partner with different growers, farmers, and producers, and they are very integrated in what they do in the products that they bring to their establishment. They are located at 1906 Town Center Boulevard, Suite 110, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. I can put my stamp on them. If you're ever looking for a place with fresh juices, with different type of salads, integrating fruits, all different type of, I was ready to say nuts, pause on that, all different types of ingredients that are healthy for you, this is the place to be. Like I said, in Annapolis, Parole Town Center, True Food Kitchen. I am a fan. I go there all the time. Anytime I just want something to, refresh my diet, keep my palate balanced. So, True Food Kitchen, you're the sponsor I highlight for tonight.
Yeah, I've been there once in person. It is definitely, if you on one of them nights you want to try something new with your partner. And even down to the drinks. The drinks, they got some, I don't want to call them cocktails, but it's like a mixture.
You get like a biscuits, lemonade, with liquor, or you could get it just with the juice. Yeah. They got a lot of different things going on.
It's real cool. Food is healthy. And they first popped on the radar for me during the pandemic. I remember them being a huge advocate, making sure that different people was getting food, and also they sponsored Leadership and a Runaway one day for lunch.
That's dope.
Shout out to True Food Kitchen.
Yeah, True Food Kitchen.
Yeah.
So, moving forward to that, one of my favorite segments, I think one of our viewers' favorite segments, this is called Love to Not Love. We do not say the HATE word on our show. So, this is a moment where we poke a little fun at things that we don't choose, it's not our preference. But sometimes it's actually hidden messaging and we actually kind of do like it, but it's just things about it we don't love.
Yeah.
You want to kick it off?
I'm going to kick it off, man. My first love to not love is people who use dead people as a way to get their point across in a negative way.
Explain one.
Charleston White, talking about Gilly's son.
Gotcha.
You get in an argument with another grown man and you use a tragedy on somebody that's a youth at that and try to use that as a point to come across as an internet sensation or to just say fuck retaliation, because I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying like, I rock with you, Charleston, but that ain't cool. Like, you taking it across the line. He like, no, that's the intent. And it's like, as much as I want to big him up because he does come across sometimes with positive messaging, it's stuff like that that just make me just can't defend him. I can't, refer him to somebody for motivation. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't tell a motivation, inspiration, community leader behind those type of actions. Like I gotta hold a leader accountable at all times.
That's a fact though.
So that's my love to not love.
Yeah, I love to say that it's triumph. It can be triumph and tragedy, but there's no triumph when you use tragedy to try to tell your truth. Yeah. So it's different ways to put out a message, and that's not the way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
My first love to not love. Tonight I am going with when people want you to sit in the wrong you've done, but want you to just skim past theirs when it's your time for clarity. It's like they love to point out your wrongdoings, but when it's time for them to have to stand up and take commitment to what they did and be accountable, all of a sudden they want to move on. All of a sudden you're stuck on things. All of a sudden, why can't you just grow up? No, stand in what you did, because when we're on the other side of it, we're going to do what we got to do, and we'll hold ourselves accountable, and we're going to try to meet somewhere in the middle and grow as people, grow as a couple, relationships, friendship, work relationships, whatever it may be, because this happens on many levels. But just be more accountable. Yeah. Because I can't stand a person that loves to point a finger, but every time it's time to point the finger at them, they got their back turned, like they don't see the fingers.
Yeah.
Second one?
My second one is I love to not love the way that snitching, the power of snitching, how that has taken over the black community. Meaning that people are more worried about being a snitch than they are their integrity for cleaning out the neighborhood for some of the evils and some of the bad people. And it's like, I think that these same people that would quick to point the finger and call somebody a snitch are the same people that know they could be living next door to a pedophile, somebody that's selling drugs to somebody's mother, somebody that's killing kids, or giving drugs to kids. It's like you'll go turn a blind eye to that, but the first thing that you want to jump out there is talk about how a person's snitching, because now that power has gotten so big around the black community that like nobody wants to do it. Not even the older people. They just feel afraid that their life is going to be threatened. And you got some snitches who literally walking around here freely without worrying about being killed. You know what I'm saying?
It's changed for sure. I feel like that love to not love is something that's been a conversation for a long time. Yeah. And I really don't know how the balance on that is, because one day we need to have an episode on black conversation and how, especially people with the hood mentality or people from that part of the world and their community, how they are in conversation and how they see things, and the things that we just make, the things we make normal, the things we make okay. But that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. So moving forward, my second love to not love is private love for something that's on a public platform. Don't be a closet lover. And really, I was going to say a bunch of other things, but I'll make it personal. Show love to the Do It For The Love podcast. We want you out here publicly talking about what you like about us, what you don't like about us. We want engagement. So I'm going to start knocking at y'all door every chance I get on this camera, in person, and all of that, because that's how we grow. That's how our audience grows. So please, if you got some love for us, and a special shout out to everybody that stops us at gas stations, for everybody that says it to us when you see us at events, we appreciate it. But show that love on a public platform as well, because we're a public entity and we're continually trying to grow on that public platform. So,
With that being said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and follow it up at the end with a share, because your comments help boost us in the algorithm. It helps us keep the conversation going. And just for those that I know that are watching in close details, if you comment under this episode, we're going to do a prize giveaway. Throw away a t-shirt and a hoodie to launch the Do It For The Love merch. So if you're watching right now and you heard that, drop your comment.
Exclusive.
It's going down, or drop your comment at some point before the end of this episode.
I like that.
Yeah.
That is a Do It For The Love episode 19 exclusive, live here from the Atelier Baltimore Studios.
Yes, sir.
So, moving forward, before we bring on our very special guest for the evening, we're going to get into another one of our favorite segments, and this is the Spotlight series. This is when tonight we're going to shine the light on the Bad Boy Empire, the movie Bad Boy Empire, and Will Smith and Martin. And before I get into that, for those who don't know, shine the spotlight, this is when we should show love to a person, an entity, a brand, a business, anything that we've seen in the week that we love. So even before I do this, because this was always my shine the spotlight for the night, I also want to shine the spotlight one more time on everybody involved today with the Key Bridge and everything that happened, all of the families of the people that they're still searching for, and those who survived. Yeah. But moving on, I want to today, the Bad Boys 4, I think it's called Bad Boys Do or Die, something like that. And it's crazy because they should have called the third one, which was Bad Boys for Life. That should have been the title of this one. But I'm not on the scene. I'm not in Hollywood. That's just a thought. But today the trailer dropped, and it looked fire to me. And I'm a big Will Smith and Martin fan, so I'm biased. So I'm taking tonight to show love to them brothers for being a part of what I would say our entire life. They've been a part of our generation from get-go, from Fresh Prince to the Martin Show, to the music, to comedy, to acting, to movies. These two individuals have both faced controversy in the public eye. And the one thing about when you're being a public figure is that when things happen in the public, you gotta live with that forever. And either you take your money and you stay in the closet with it, or you find a way to make a comeback and you stay in the public eye. Yeah. And both of them have stayed relevant throughout their career. Yeah. So I just want to shine the spotlight on Marty Marr and the Fresh Prince. Summertime will forever be a classic. Some of the Martin episodes will forever stay in rotation. And I hope this fourth movie, if it's not the last, or if it is the last, I hope it gets great reviews and brings a great ending or continuation to the legacy of the Bad Boy trilogy, which is now going to be a 4-part movie. And I'm loving where they at, man.
And a little nugget for y'all, just to drop this gem that I don't think y'all remember. Back in the day, Kid and Play was the hottest two-hand duo.
Facts. And
House Party had Martin in it. And if y'all don't know, back then, Will Smith and all of them kind of had a little argument. They wanted to see who was the best. And it's crazy because Martin, as you know, in House Party was like the flunky of the movie. Mm-hmm. For him to, start there and then link up with Will Smith and now be, like you said, the face of our generation, and Kid and Play kind of dropped off.
Right. And they better come back in that way of like where the era is at today. But from what you're saying, we'll see who the big dogs are.
Yeah.
So, shout out to the Fresh Prince, shout out to Marty Marr. Yeah. So, with that being said, episode 19, For the Love of Motivation. I think it's time to bring on our guest, man.
Let's do it.
You know the vibes, man. We outside. Let's do it.
I'm back. This is episode 19. Tonight, we're honored to have a true advocate for change in our midst, from spreading positivity through daily motivational videos to empowering the youth of Hyattsville, Maryland. Our guest is a force to be reckoned with. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Jason Boursiquot.
What's good,
man? What's up with y'all, man? I said you up and I'm up, man. Look, do it for the love, man. We finally here, dog.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all, man. Look, I just want to say salute to y'all, man. This is a wonderful opportunity, and like I said, man, shout out to brothers that's doing this as well, just spreading that community awareness, man.
For sure. It's been a pleasure to be connected to you, and this episode being titled For the Love of Motivation. You are a big motivation that has been added to my network, bro. I love waking up in the morning, getting on Instagram and seeing you on the timeline, giving that daily affirmation. So I appreciate you being a voice out here for this new culture and holding it down in the DMV, man, for sure.
Man, love. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna let Buddy go ahead and get into it, tell you how we get the interviews kicking off, and let's get it.
So as you are, as a person that watches our show, you know how we get down, but we like to start off with the who, what, when, where, why, so our guests can get familiar with you, almost like a little bio check.
Yeah.
So to keep it real simple, man, who is Jason Boursiquot, aka JFlow 301?
Man, Jason Boursiquot, man, I just say like a youngin' that, from PG, shout out to PG County, basically was just trying to find his way. Never really thought about motivational speaking at first, never thought about community advocacy, never thought about that, but always knew that he had a voice. And everything that he did, he literally grind hard and dream big. Like, would always write my ideas down and everything like that. So an overachiever, yeah, a grinder, yeah, someone that always had a vision and a plan, even when things ain't really make sense. And just taking those steps from A to B to C and down there. So yeah, that's just it.
For sure, for the love of motivation, I love it. We spoke about earlier, we were talking about people like Fred Hampton and some of the greats who were known for speaking. I always like to find out who was the people that got them to that point. So who would you say is a motivator to you and was a reason why you are who you are today?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I start with God first, and then after God, I say my mom, my dad, family, my community mentor, Miss Kimberly Marshall, that's like a big sister to me, and then my speaking mentor, Mr. Jeffrey Young, Backpack Jeff. So like, having mentors, they really kind of guided me through the process. I mean, of course, you could watch motivational videos like Les Brown and Eric Thomas and
E.T.
Of course, E.T. as well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those individuals as well, and Jeremy Anderson as well. But just having mentors, they really like pushed me through the process, like finding out my why and things like that. So every single day, it's really for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha, brother. That's actually going to be one of my who questions. So I'll move into a what. So what is the story behind your motivational videos that you start your morning off with? The right arm up, open wide, and then you give your gems. Like, what is that? And where did that start?
So July 5th, 2020 is when it started. I went live with one of my homies, shout out my guy Jew, and we went live. We was just talking about like community issues at first, like. And then from there, it just went to the reels and everything like that. But I realized, like, okay, if I had a message, you could focus on like likes and wants and stuff like that. But I was just like, nah, I felt like God was really leading me to say this stuff. Mm-hmm. So every single day, it would just be something different, from like making it happen to expectations, or like, get over the hump, or, forgiving someone, or things of that nature. So I felt like all these things were important. And I didn't really realize that it was not only like therapy for myself, but it was like therapeutic for other people too. So I kind of like, like that soul food that you cook in the oven, it's like, okay, bet I'm about to finally eat this. It served as soul food for other people too. Okay. So I just kept going from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you said it earlier, you was like, put God first. Why is it important for you to always keep God in your messaging behind your videos? What is the reason behind that?
I feel like He's the center of everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like He gave us all gifts, right? He gave y'all gifts, He gave me gifts. Everybody has a gift. And guess what? The thing about it is, like, He just want to know if you're going to use it in the right way. Like, okay, if you talented at, art and, of course, your murals, and shout out to what you do, and like this whole platform, like if He blessed you with the platform and things of that nature, how do you utilize the gift? Are you going to give Him the glory, the honor, and praise that He deserves? Because He's going to get it regardless.
Now I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you always know how good God was, or did it take, because some of us, I was one of them, not that it was a point where I didn't believe in God,
right,
but it was certain things going on in my life that made me question if God was real. So did you have one of them moments where something showed you that God was real, and you grew a love for Him, or did you always just have a strong love and affiliation to God?
So,
your life?
So in my childhood, like, I always went to church, right? But I felt like as I got older, I had to build that relationship with God. Like, okay, really understanding who He was. And then there was certain situations like, all right, man, you made a lot of left turns. Like, why you go here? Why you go there? And things like that. And then He brought me out of those things, and like pruning and, outgrowing people and things like that. And it's just like, all right, I know who he really is. I know what he was really trying to do. Like, if I made that one false mistake or something like that, I could have jeopardized and threw everything away. But now it's just like, I understand who he is, and we got a better understanding now.
Love it.
And I love the emphasis you put on everybody has a gift, but God wants to know you're going to use it in the right way.
Yes.
That's exactly the point. What I said earlier when we opened our show about, motivation. People can have negative motivation.
For sure.
And people can take, geniuses can have the wrong direction.
Right.
Or what I perceive as the wrong direction. Because to me, it's hard, especially in today's age where everything's questioned and challenged, even facts.
Right.
But I like to say if what you're doing can possibly harm people or endanger a certain creed or a certain community, then that's negative. And that's wrong. And regardless of how you try to spin that, I don't see no right and stuff like that. And I give grace to everybody. So I just love the emphasis you put on that.
For sure.
So another one of my questions would be, why is it important for you to not only put God in your messages, but to continuously paint the narrative that it's needed in your life? Like, if that, it's kind of like, I think you already kind of answered it, but if you could put a little bit more messaging into why having, not even just God, a faith-based connection is important.
Yeah, I think, because you have to have a foundation to start somewhere. Like I said, because like the people, I know it's been said time and time again, it's like, okay, if you don't have, what's your foundation like? What's your structure like? Your organization? These are the things that are very simple, right? But if you don't take care of those things, then they become complex. It's like if you've always wanted to be on like a big stage, and if you've always wanted to be on a big stage, but you never knew what a small stage was like, when you get on the big stage, you may not know how to handle it. So when it comes to the foundation part, like, what do you put in first? What do you value first? What do you prioritize first? And for me, it's just, like I said, every day I wake up, I pray, thank God for seeing another day, another opportunity, just thankful for, God, family, friends, support system, in that nature, and then really just being able to reflect, journal, and just go about my business. But like, that's why it's been that firm foundation for me.
Appreciate you.
I noticed with motivational speakers, especially in today's age, one of the key things about them is having mantras. Buddy starts to show off by saying more life, more blessings. We also have the quote about worldwide winning. How did you get to one of your mantras being have a good day on purpose? Where did that come from, and how did that come about? Why did you use that?
So have a great day on purpose to me is like it's just a mindset, really. Like, every single day that you have is really up to you if it's going to be a great day or not. It's your mindset. Somebody can easily, do something to trigger you, things like that. But how you respond is if you're going to win or not. You know what I'm saying? Okay, bet. Somebody may have said something you may not like. You don't have to feed into that energy. You could really just offset that by being like, all right, cool. You go about your day. I wish you the best. Mm-hmm. And I realized in these spaces and things like that, just being who you are, your character, matters so much more than your reputation. So like having a great day on purpose, let's get it, let's go. Like things like that, it really just keep me grounded and focused. And then I didn't really know how receptive it was going to be to other people, to be honest.
Yeah, that's dope though.
I love what you do, man. When I see people, it's the same thing that I said to Wallo when I had a moment to speak with him at the Teen Summit, and the same thing I see in you. People who on purpose have a great day on purpose, have a message on purpose. People who wake up with a message on purpose, right, and feed that to the people daily in confidence and with courage, and day in and day out you leave that out there for the people. I appreciate that because it's something that I do, and I hope that it gets to people every day. So when other people's message gets to me, because it's easy to miss stuff on this World Wide Web,
for sure,
with all of the content. So when I catch the good ones, it's a blessing. So it's a pleasure to meet you, and the poetry and everything you did when I first met you at the Teen Summit. Great words. So I was going to ask you a question about, when did you fall in love with words? But I'd rather spin it to, when did you start grind hard, dream big, and where do you see that going? What is the goal there? Yeah,
so grind hard, dream big, man. I ain't gonna lie. I wrote Grind Hard, Dream Big down in the notebook in 2014. Okay. That's when I was like rapping, poetry, things like that. And the pandemic happened. We all in the house, outside is closed, so it's like outside, you can't go nowhere. Then revisited it back, and I'm like, all right, bet. Doing the motivational videos, July 5th, 2020. Then people, some of my homies were hitting me up like, bro, have you ever thought about the podcast? Have you ever thought about that? I didn't really think about it. And then I just started writing things down like, okay, what would I talk about? Things like that. November 6th, 2020 is when the podcast started. And like I said, no script, no nothing, just walked in the studio, interviewed one of my homies about health. He was just talking about that. And then from there, it was just like, all right, bet. Just started doing interviews. So literally my homies who I grew up with, they would just come on the show, we just do interviews. Then it led to community outreach. And that's when I met Miss Kimberly Marshall, and we was just able to do community work. So there was like one vehicle leading to another vehicle. Then after that, the motivational speaking came about. That's another vehicle. So now it's 3 different vehicles going to like one destination. And the overall goal with Ground Hard Dream Big really is to have like its own incubator space where people can come through, community can come through, learn about finance, learn about, podcasting, just a creative hub for basically community and kids to, build their dreams, their goals, their desires, and just have people that look like them help them every step of the way.
That's fire, bro.
That's literally what it is. That's literally what it is, because like I said, for me, I know coming up, like I said, in school, of course, I was all about my grades and stuff like that, but I didn't take advantage of resources. But now that I'm in a position where I can provide a resource to somebody else, why not?
And it's crazy because pretty much the way I dissect what you just said, all of your gifts were pretty much a vessel to lead you to one location.
Right.
All of your gifts led to something else pretty much the next turn. So yeah, man, that's what's up. I just had to get a little bit more insight on that because I know that's your brand and I know that's what you're pushing. So I just wanted for the people to know more about it.
For sure.
You spoke on resources, and as it comes to leadership, I spoke on this literally last week about that being one of the things that I look to give back to people who want to be leaders now. You know what I mean? So I know in different areas and people who want to be leaders, they don't know where to start. So where would you give advice to a person who wants to do community work or who wants to be an advocate? Where to start? I always get a lot of people who ask, well, how do I get started, or what can I do to help out? So what would be your advice?
I just say like whatever you feel like the issue is. Like for me, I ain't gonna lie, like I was watching the news all the time. And I always seen all the sad stories, a youngin' dying or overdose or a robbery or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, if all these kids and it's happening at a younger age, like, what can we put in place for these kids so that way they don't revert to robbing or stealing or killing somebody and things like that. So once I really tackled that, I'm like, all right, well, let me go to a community center and really like holler at some kids and see what's going on. All right, how can I be of service? And it's really being of service to people. So my mindset really was, how can I help you as opposed to what can I gain? Because like a lot of people will want to gain a lot of things, but you're going to find so much clarity in serving other people and just helping other people and adding value to things. And that's how I became valuable in doing a lot of these things as well. So it's like, and I know it may be hard too, because like for me, like being a leader, even when people sit there and say like, yeah, bro, you're a leader, it's still something that's surreal to me because I never really envisioned that for myself, but I just knew what the issue was, and it's like, okay, let's go ahead and execute on it. Like, we've talked about it long enough, let's go ahead and put something in place. Let's go ahead and do something now. And, for leaders, it's hard because, standing out and not following the norm, it could look, you could be alone, you could feel, scared or afraid, but I would encourage you to realize, like, once you start moving, other people will start moving too.
And just as a quick follow-up on that, as a leader who's been doing this advocacy work for a couple years now, how do you measure your success with doing that work? How do you look back and say, what I've done has made an impact?
I could definitely say, like, when I first started, I still don't have all the answers, right? But I would say that I've learned a lot in being coachable and like, going to other events, supporting other people as well. Because I realized like sometimes you can get caught up in your brand and get caught up in what you have going on. But when you support other people, you'll be surprised how many people come and support you. Mm-hmm. Like I said, for, prime example, being transparent, like last year, having the youth summit. Like I said, I found out about Treehouse Project through Vibes podcast. I did an interview there, and they was like, yo, Treehouse Project, you may want to link up with them. Boom, got the information, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool. Reached out, email, contact, things like that. Podcast episode, and then oh, youth summit, invite them. Cool, they came through. Then, now all of a sudden they have an event. And it's like, okay, we want you to be a part. And that's what it is with collaboration as well, man. Collaboration goes a long way, and that's what I'm learning also in this space, man.
So definitely you would say outreach and how far your network is taken.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Did you have any more who, what, when, where, what questions?
My last question, I would say, is we know your impact and how your daily affirmations can help out all of your followers, all your viewers, or a person that's down. And every time I see you, high energy, always good energy. How do you stay at that level, and how do you stay motivated, and content? How do you deal with your own problems? Are you always motivated like this, or?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. There'd be days where I feel like, man, this don't be going nowhere. Like, to be honest, like the early stages, it felt like, all right, this ain't going nowhere. Like, all right, and I look at, what is the intent? And it goes back to, okay, you on social media, regardless whatever platform it is it about the likes and the wants, or is it about the need and the love? Mm-hmm. So I had to really decipher that, right? To depict it. I'm sorry, but like depict it really, and really look at the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. And it's about the needs and the love. Mm-hmm. You constantly show up and you constantly do what you're supposed to do. God gonna take care of the rest. It's not about the, okay, man, 1,000 people like this joint, or you got 1,000 plays. I don't try to get caught up in the plays, the likes, the wants. I got to keep going, regardless of what it is. And like I said, even surreal moments and meeting people, it's been a blessing, and it's going to continue to be a blessing. But like I said, the end goal is to understand that, the platform is bigger than you, and it's supposed to connect. It's not only supposed to service you, it's supposed to also service other people.
Dope.
Yeah. And what I love about that, I always go back to this quote that I learned in Leadership Annapolis, first class. Do not be married to the results. Know your purpose. As long as you have a purpose, then it's not a waste of time. You're going to gain something from it, and somebody's going to gain something from the overall message of what you're doing. For sure. So you did amazing. I feel like the people definitely know who Jason Boursiquot is a little bit more from that elaborate answers to those questions. So now we'll move forward to a little bit looser, more part of the show. This segment is called Rapid Fire. We don't want you to put too much thought into it. We're going to hit you with questions quick, and let it loose. Speak how you feel. You want to kick it off, Brother Brown?
For sure. Kicking off Rapid Fire, episode 19. First question: what is the most accomplished moment of your life so far?
Man, there's so many of them, man. I'm gonna just be transparent, man. I think 3 years ago, meeting Wallo and Gilly at a podcast and their event, and then just having the phenomenal event that you just had, both March 9th and March 10th, and March 9th being my birthday, being so surreal.
Nice.
Having to be in the same space, doing community work, coming for, gathering for a good cause, man. That was a surreal moment, and just understanding the vibes, understanding how, how down to earth people are, because I think that some people look at celebrities and get caught in the glitz and the glam and what they do, but they don't really connect with them as human beings and who they really are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that was really a surreal, dope moment for me.
So,
and being viral, it was cool.
I'll piggyback off that rapid fire question. This is new for me in rapid fire. I just hit with a rapid fire question myself. So piggybacking off that, can you name your best moment from one of the people that motivated you? Like a standout, like one time we asked a person a question, if you could go back in the time, what would you do? And they picked like the Martin Luther King dream speech or something. Yeah. What's a moment from, as you said, your mom, or one of the mentors that you named? What's a moment from one of them? It's like an alley-oop. What's a moment from one of them that motivated you?
Just like every single event, man. Like my mother, like she will always tell me like the good in every event. So like my mom, my dad even coming to see me speak. I remember my dad came to see me speak last year. And I know my dad, he, like I said, when it comes to like transformation and everything like that, he's always been there, regardless if it was like a basketball game or poetry, a rap show, whatever. He was always there. To see him, in that space. I remember at the 7th annual MBYO Youth Issues Assembly, that was a surreal moment for me as well, because like, my dad at that time, he knew that I was motivationally speaking, but like, you know what I'm saying, he set time aside and was like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and check myself.
Gotcha.
And that was really dope.
So the support from
the support was like,
gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
That's on me?
Yep.
My next question, if you would throw in an advocacy day and you could have one celebrity keynote speaker, who would it be?
Man, that's a great question. Celebrity speaker.
Because I know in reality, we all want some of the best to come out. I could see you saying an E.T. or bringing Wallo back out, but we know it could be a budget thing. So
Right, for sure.
That's just
No budget.
No budget. You got control to get whoever you want there. Who's gonna be that celebrity or keynote speaker?
Season 1 Black Card budget. We footing the bill. Tell you
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. J. Cole, bro. J. Cole. I think J. Cole would be.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah, J. Cole would be fire. So I rock with
Great
J. Cole.
choice. J. Cole is for the kids, man.
Yeah.
Basketball fan?
Yeah, I love basketball.
LeBron James or Kobe Bryant?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Bron. Overall player, Bron.
You gotta keep on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want, shout out to the Mamba. Mamba forever since 2024.
Yeah.
Kobe at your door.
I love Kobe though. Don't get it twisted. I love Kobe, but overall, I'm gonna go with Bron.
And you know this man already talked about God, so King James version, baby.
I know a lot of us grew up in the 80s, had some of the best shows, music, and things that inspired the characters we are as people today. What is your favorite TV show growing up?
Man,
Ever?
growing up, I'm gonna have to say Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince was just like that vibe for me.
Okay,
And
I can see that.
yeah, Fresh Prince was definitely that vibe. You just had different characters from the Carlton to Hillary to Will and just different aspects of life. And I feel like the way it broke down family dynamics, you see that predominantly in our culture now. So how transparent it is in our day and age, and even how they revamped the show with Bel Air, just seeing how it is now, man, I would definitely say Fresh Prince for sure.
And it's crazy because we shine a spotlight on Martin Will this episode, and it's crazy because I was having a debate one day about what's the best show, and I'm like, the reason why I gotta give the nod to Fresh Prince is that if I ask somebody this, and we ain't gotta do it on camera, but y'all can think about it. How many serious episodes of Martin was it? Like actually serious. Like Fresh Prince had serious episodes.
Yeah,
like Martin was all about humor, and that was his purpose. But like I gotta get the acting, and I thought the Fresh Prince was luncheon too. But it had its moments where it's like, damn, it's a tearjerker episode. Like there's some real life shit that's going on. Like Martin really never really did that. The most serious it got was relationship stuff with him and Gina, and even that had humor to it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get that off. So this is a random question that I wrote, and I don't even know if anybody has an answer to it, because I never asked anybody this. I don't even know if I would have an answer to it. What's the most motivating month to you?
Motivated month, man.
What month are you like, throughout your lifetime, or if you think it's one on purpose, what month have you just felt like the most motivated? Or the holidays, whatever happens in this month, because now every damn month is an annual something, holiday for something. Growing up, that didn't exist. Now every month is something, every day is something. So if there's a month, which one's the most motivating one to you?
Nah, I'm gonna be transparent, man. We in March. I mean, like I said, I think for me personally, like around my birthdays and things like that, I get more motivation. Like I get the reminder of what the why is. So I'm gonna have to say March.
That's your life. That's your life, man. You know, that's the
Yeah.
time to come in. Sad season stand up. I would say November, or if I had to be unbiased, I would. August definitely is like another motivating month for me. I would say. So next rapid fire question.
My last question is, what is something that you love to do that people might not know?
Man, I love to watch boxing fights. That's my thing. I love boxing, bro. Like.
Violent motivator.
Yeah, it's like boxing is really cool, man. I mean, like I said, I know we in B-more, man. Shout out to Tank, man. The Tank is one of them ones for sure. I be watching boxing a lot, so from the Tank to the Terrence Crawford to the David Benavidez. There's a lot of other boxers I can name, but those are my three.
Is it just professional boxing?
Nah, I like local too. I like local too. So I'll be going to like live casino and watching that.
Oh yeah.
It's too. Shout out to man. There's a lot of people that fought there.
Was you a fan of my man Kimbo Slice?
Kimbo Slice was cool.
Yeah.
Kimbo Slice was cool.
Street boxing.
Yeah, street boxing, man. Yeah. So like boxing is a thing I like watching for sure.
So that is actually the last rapid fire question, but you did great. But I will just, being that we here already, a few quick boxing rapid fires while we at it.
All right, that's it.
Frank Johnson versus Tank. Who gonna win?
You said who?
Frank Johnson versus Tank.
You talking about Frank Martin?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
Frank Martin. Frank Johnson.
Man, dog, it's gonna be easy work for Tank, man. Like,
Easy work?
It's gonna be easy work. Like Frank is cool. He's a slick boxer, but that power different, man. Tank, I won't be surprised if the fight go like 5 or 6 rounds.
All right.
Do you think you could last 3 rounds in the ring with Tank for $1 million?
Nah, man, that pressure's something different, bro. Like it's hard to like from what I seen. I don't think anybody can stand in front of Tank for like 12 rounds.
Martin versus Tommy Hearns. Trying to get this man hurt. All right, I'm gonna keep it moving. A couple more. So you also got a lot of people think it's a joke, but I'll say it anyway. Haney versus Garcia.
Haney versus Garcia.
Easy work for Haney. He said if you knock him out in the first round, Garcia said he'll retire.
I see Ryan. It depends on how Ryan approaches. I'm gonna still take Devin though because I think Devin at 140 is a problem, and I think that Devin is comfortable. He's more skilled, so I'm gonna go with Devin.
I don't even have any more, but I like when people talk sports and stuff that they know like that because I'm not a huge boxing enthusiast, but at the same time, I watch it. I watch any live sport that's on. So I think another fight is coming up. If I'm not mistaken, is Lomachenko about to fight? What's the other guy in that division has a similar, not Russian, but he also has a foreign last name?
Oh, you talking about Lomachenko and George Kambosos? Yeah,
they're coming up, right?
Yeah,
that's supposed to be another good one. Who you got that one?
I got Lomachenko, man. Okay. I feel like Lomachenko's a dog. I like Loma.
All right, that's a bet. I got to see you. You love boxing. I got you smiling.
Yeah, I love Loma, man. Loma tough.
I got you, man. So shout out to all the boxers. Shout out to all the athletes in any professional sport. Stay motivated, stay grinding.
That's dope because I wouldn't have known that if you wouldn't have said that. So that's cool.
For sure. So at this point, we moving on from rapid fire. Great job. And this segment that we're going into is called Spin the Block. So our rappers like to say spin the block on the op. I spin the block is more so on topics or things that we've already touched on, or if it's something about your brand, something about what you do on a day-to-day from your 9 to 5 to obviously your advocacy work. Is that something that you want to touch on that we did not ask you or you didn't elaborate on?
Yeah, I mean, just a clarification with Grind Hard, Dream Big, man. It's literally like the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. So like, empowered our youth through positive words and positive actions. That's literally meeting kids where they are. So like, it doesn't matter, as far as like their dreams, their goals, where they want to be at. It's really meeting them where they are. So like having these conversations with them, and developing relationships, mentoring, things of that nature, and providing outlets for them to express themselves. They can learn how to be leaders, get community service, and we also provide safe spaces as well. So like I said, taking kids to Dave & Buster's, we've done that before. We have our 4th annual coming up in Capitol Heights, June 22nd.
Dope, so brother.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah, we gotta be there.
Yeah, for sure.
For love, no man.
Yeah, for sure. We got that, and then of course our back to school drive that we're doing as well. That'll be our 4th annual as well. And shout outs to Glen Arden Library for that. And then of course we'll be gearing up for our 3rd annual Youth Summit at Glen Arden as well. So
shout out to Glen Arden, man.
Yeah. Just wanted to spin the block real quick on the question. Going back to some of the questions and spinning the block on us talking about our gun violence prevention weekend.
Yeah.
One of the questions that we asked a lot of people, especially the teens over the weekend, was social media and how it plays a role in starting gun violence or just starting beefs. What do you feel like is a way that you would pitch to your youngins and your teens of how they can use social media in a positive way to inspire more change and more good things for the younger generation?
I would just say like use your voice. Like whatever it is, like use your voice. Like if all the kids going through the same exact thing, it's nothing to ask them a little question or something like that. Like for me, people can go on my page. I always ask kids like, what does community mean to you? Or like, what does a neighbor being a neighbor, what does a neighbor being a neighbor mean to you? Or little things like that. Or what are some things that you would want to see? Because like I said, they're the ones that, they're in the driver's seat. We're the older generation, and we have to give them that space and that platform for them to at least, vocalize what they want to see. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If we don't do that, then it's a disservice. So like I said, once again, being able to provide that and allowing them to at least speak out on it or presenting that opportunity, because that's what the youngest really want. They just want that opportunity.
Yeah.
I'll let Cell go on to the next segment, and I think we can kind of combine them tonight, because sometimes I believe that the segment he's going into is called Hidden Gems, and I feel like he's been giving gems on episodes.
I appreciate that.
Literally we're Hidden Gems, but the segment that follows that is our inspirational moment message, and I'll let Cell get into it, but at that moment we're going to zoom in, and you can leave the kids with the gem and whatever your message is, but I'll let Cell get a little bit more into what that means.
So with our Hidden Gems segment, it's pretty much about sharing a gem about your business or your profession or craft that listeners might not know, or something, a tip about it that they can learn. Somebody that may, like I said, may be trying to be an advocate in the community or do poetry or whatever the case may be. What is that hidden gem that you would give them?
I would just say, like, get creative and be consistent. Like, you'll never know. Like, when I started writing, like, raps and poetry, like, I was down on myself, like, okay, man, this may sound stupid or whatever. But little did I know, like, I just kept fine-tuning it and then just building that confidence over time. And even with a brand, it's like, you got to believe it before somebody else does. So it's like also having that confidence in what you're doing. And like I said, just walking in every room knowing that, yo, I'm that person. I belong here. I deserve it.
For sure.
I'm here.
And you know, typically, like what Buddy said on this next part, the inspirational moment we would typically go through, and you looking at the camera as if you either looking in the mirror and you talking to your younger self, or if you're just talking to that younger person that might be one of those in the crowd of one of your speaking engagements and they need that motivation. But I want to switch it up a little bit, because I know every time I've seen you out, you do dope poetry. So if you open to it, bro, give us one of your dope poems that you think speaks volumes into the people or the person that's watching.
Right. Do it for the love, Booth, Volume 1. Here we go.
They want us just to stick to the norm. No matter the forecast, prepare for the storm. Conditioning is everything, this world that we live in. Visions of making it. They want us in the prison. Drugs being sold, pills being popped. Youngins building Tetris nowadays on the block. The money gotta be made. And rolling loud, real loud about how you're stuck in a maze. Build your resume, make more than minimum wage and no law, or they throw you in a cage. GPS yourself without the ways in. When you read a book, take your time with the page. P's and Q's, stay on your toes, know your worth, your friends and your foes. I hope you got it down packed so you won't fail. And pardon me, this is a story I tell. Yeah.
For sure,
Let's
appreciate
get it,
it,
baby.
For sure.
The ways line was sick.
Yeah, like I feel like that's important because I feel like a lot of us could be on the left side or the right side of the street, but it's important for us to really like navigate and really take our time, because patience, my younger self, I was in a rush. I don't know about y'all, but I was in a rush to do so many things. And I realized when you're in a rush, you do things unintentionally because you ain't really like map it out and see it through. So the message to my younger self is just to be patient and just take your time, and then realize that what's for you isn't gonna miss you. And like your friends are people that add value to you and what you got going on. They want to see you win. So it's like it's okay if you have to separate yourself from, you know, certain people or block out the noise, because at the end of the day, it's really on you. And just to tell yourself every single day that you're dope, you're vibing, you're amazing. And there's nothing in this world that you can't do.
For sure.
When you rush the process, you do not know how to rebuild the steps you never took. That's a gem right there.
Nah, for sure, man. Nah, for sure.
But that's a fact, though. Like you just said, you cannot rush anything. You got to know exactly what your purpose is and how you're moving. So this has been a great episode, man, for the love of motivation. But we're not done. Before we roll out of here and we finish off, this is an open moment. You've given us a lot about what you do, your program, your message, your motivation, your 9 to 5, the things you care about, everything that motivates you. But this is a moment where if there's anything going on in the news, anything that's been happening in the world of 2024, or a message from 2023 that you know don't feel like got enough public knowledge or something you want to speak on, this is just an open moment. You could go into something that's been trending on Twitter. Is there anything going on in world news or in your life that you want to just speak on quickly?
I just want to say that hurt people, heal people, heal people. It's just that simple for me personally, because I feel like a lot of people are hurt. And like I said, when it comes to like, you know, social media, things like that, we got to find different ways to have, you know, these conversations and things like that. So that's why I say salute to Do It For The Love, because this is a safe space for people to just be themselves, bro. Like, I didn't even feel like no pressure, nothing. Like, this is just like, yo, I'm at home, I'm kicking my feet up, I'm relaxing. So I say I appreciate that, because like I said, it's more safe spaces that are needed. So I hope that people that are watching this like, comment, and subscribe for sure. And then on top of that, are motivated to create their own safe spaces as well, because that's what we really need. So that way people can feel, you know, comfortable and vulnerable enough to have these tough conversations, to have better insight on them.
You hear that, Uncle Shay? You hear that, Shay? Do It For The Love, safe space. You know, you ain't the only one, brother. Podcast game's going up. We're going to continue to thrive in our greatness. And we're going to stay motivated, because you all motivation, Shay.
And also, before we get out of here, I love, you know me being a person who loves to highlight the details. One of the special things about you outside of energy and the message that you provide is the first 2 times I met your moms. You know, and I really respect your moms. I wanted to shout her out. You mentioned her briefly earlier, but I definitely want you to talk about how your mom plays a huge role in your life as being a supporter. She's always there cheering you on. As a person who didn't get his mother in his life like that, I admire that, bro. Like your mom. And then she give off that energy. The family. I mean, like the.
That's a family. For sure. Everybody, nah, for sure. Like, nah, man. My mom, man, like, shout out to her. Like, she literally, when I mean to tell you, like, every step of the way, ups, downs, twists, and turns. She's always there. She's always present, man. And like I said, every event, she'll always try her best to be there. And she's always there. And she always gonna make her presence felt. Like I said, we definitely enjoyed, you know what I'm saying, the event, and we appreciate that. And she was just like, oh, my baby got to do something too. So like, you know, so that was definitely love as well, man. So like,
and before we end Women's International, well, not
Women's History Month.
Women's International Day was at the beginning. But Women's History Month, is there any other women you want to shout out that may have been a backbone, inspiration, or something positive and uplifting in your life?
Man, I want to, like I said, shout out to my mom, my aunts. Shout out to my community mentor, Miss Kimberly Marshall. She plays a heavy role. Shout out to Joanna. She plays a heavy role. Shalise as well, heavy role. Like, you know, it's a lot of women that are out here doing a lot of great things. So salute to all of y'all. But like I said, when I'm motivated or I'm inspired or I need that, those are the people I sit there and I turn to, and I be like, yo, we just gonna keep going and we gonna be locked in. So I just want to say salute.
Motivation. Sure. Let's get it.
For love, motivation, man. So you already know the vibes. Like, subscribe, share, YouTube. Do it for thelove.com. Special shout out to the Faces cameraman, aka Mr. Tallier, Baltimore studio himself. Shout out to our sponsor highlight of the episode was, let me go back in the moment. I forgot what it was for a moment. Sponsor highlight for the moment, True Food Kitchen. Shout out to our Shine Spotlight, Mr. Will Smith and Marty Marr himself. Bad Boys 4 coming soon. And you know the vibes, man. Do it for love.
Yes, man. Shout out Mr. Jason Boursiquot, aka J Flow 301 MD. We out here, man. It's episode 19. Do It for the Love podcast. And we signing out on y'all.
Man, appreciate y'all.
Subscribe, baby.
We here.